member for Kenora-Rainy River has given notice of her dissatisfaction with the answer to her question given by the Minister of Tourism, Culture and Sport concerning Ontario Tourism Information Centres. The member from Kenora-Rainy River has 5 minutes.
Thank you, Speaker. On May 3rd, I asked the Minister a very straightforward question regarding the closure of 3 travel information centres in my riding. Speaker, that question was not answered. Since the time when these closures were announced without consultation and without notice, I have done everything in my power to obtain answers from the Minister about the reasons for this decision. At first, the Minister said it was to focus on online marketing and travel applications for phones. I pointed out that my region does not have the infrastructure in place to market in such a way. Then the Minister said it was about the numbers. I inquired about the numbers and I was told that they were still being compiled, which struck me as a little strange because you generally need the numbers to make a decision that's based upon the numbers. I asked the Minister then if this was a politically motivated decision. He got very angry at that insinuation, yet when I finally received the numbers, they didn't add up. Speaker, there were 3 travel information centres in my riding in Kenora-Rainy River. They were at Fort Frances, Kenora, and Rainy River. Tourism is not a secondary or complementary industry in my region. In many cases, it is the industry. Following the collapse of the forest industry, communities across the region made the decision to focus on tourism, and they have done an outstanding job. Despite the fact that they've been battling a government that simply does not understand that our markets are different than those in Southern Ontario. Our industry did press forward. They pushed forward despite the closure of the spring bear hunt. They pushed forward despite having to compete with markets in Manitoba and northern Minnesota that do not have the HST. Now they're expected to move forward without travel information centres. This government did not give any notice of the decision. It just went and it did it. Municipalities that rely heavily on tourism are now scrambling to figure out just what to do. They were not given the time, to look at other options, including taking over the centres. They were not given the respect of advance notice from this ministry. They can't even get the minister to respond to their letters or their emails. This is an insult, and this is totally unacceptable. Speaker, the Minister of Tourism is supposed to facilitate growth in this industry, not drive another nail in the coffin. The Minister is supposed to uphold his duties in a manner that is not political, but is for the betterment of the province. The Minister maintains that this was not a political move, yet the seasonal centre in Pigeon River remains open despite having many fewer visits than in Kenora, and Kenora is being closed. Speaker, I'm not advocating for the closure of any centres. I believe they send an important, welcoming message to all tourists in all communities and at a minimal cost to the government's budget. My point has been clear. If this is not a politically motivated decision, then the Minister has a duty and an obligation to tourist operators in my riding and across the province to outline his plan. A plan that does not rely on technologies that are simply not in place. If the Minister is straightforward in saying that this decision is about the numbers, then it stands to reason that the Travel Information Centre in Pigeon River will close. If that is the case, the Minister is doing the business community in Thunder Bay and across the entire North a disservice by not announcing it. If there are other centres that are set to close, this Minister is doing those communities a disservice as well. Speaker, I ask once again, will the Minister please explain how these decisions were made? The hard-working people of our province's tourism sector deserve to know.
Parliamentary Assistant, the member from Niagara Falls.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am pleased to do a late show. Thanks. Thank you, member. Mr. Speaker, I have some comments that I will make on behalf of the Minister. I'm pleased to rise in the House to discuss the Ontario Travel Information Centres, affectionately known as OTICs. This government has presented a budget to put Ontario on track to tackle the deficit while continuing to provide quality services for Ontarians. We're moving forward to achieve sustainable services, and we continue to provide sound investments. Government services need to be kept pace with changing demands and with expectations of the public. Over the past 10 years, the 1 year-round OTEC in Fort Frances and the seasonal OTICs in Kenora and Rainy River, like the 4 that are closing in southern Ontario, including one in my own riding of Fort Erie, have shown an average decline in visitation of more than 50%. I actually know that because in my riding of Fort Erie, I'd stop out there many times to see the one person who worked at our travel center, and we'd have conversations about how many people were coming into that location. So I'm quite familiar with that. These declines are telling us that these services are no longer the primary source of travel information. Travelers are turning increasingly to using the internet, their GPS, and planning their trips well ahead of time, knowing where they're going, what they want to see, and going in those directions. In fact, in 2010, over 4 times more travelers used the Ontario Tourism Marketing Partnership Corporation website to make travel plans than those who visited a travel information center. The Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Sports and our agency, the Ontario Tourism Marketing Partnership Corporation, stand by the decision today as we did when the decision was made. We have taken a hard look at the way in which we deliver services to Ontarians, and as part of our plan, we are realigning to our tourism marketing services by focusing online travel marketing activities. Ontario is stepping up its 24/7 electronic and international internet-based travel marketing presence to meet consumers' travel research and booking preferences. This will allow us to meet consumers' travel research preferences through major redevelopment of Ontario's tourism information website, our call center, and our brochure distribution service. We're also introducing a tourism presence in the Ministry of Transportation's 23 new high-traffic highway service centers. We will continue to operate our travel information call center so that people may dial a toll-free number and speak directly with a travel counselor. This transformation will result in savings of $300,000 this fiscal year, and $1.5 million annually thereafter. We're committed to ensuring Ontario's tourism competitiveness by making sound investments. The Pigeon River OT continues to serve an important American market and is located at the border on a main highway for travelers from Duluth, Minnesota. Although the OT in Kenora has closed, the Lake of the Woods Discovery Center opened in summer of 2011. Located in Norman's Park, the center is Kenora's primary destination for visitor information services, and this newly operated facility provides a unique interactive experience for discovering Kenora and the Lake of the Woods, and the Ontario government was extremely pleased to support this project. We continue to invest in northern tourism initiatives to build a stronger, more competitive tourist industry, and our support includes $68 million since 2003 to support tourism initiatives in North, including Kenora-Rainy River and Fort Frances, over $6 million since 2007 to support the 130 events in Northern Ontario to celebrate Ontario, $5 million each year from OTMPC for the Northern Ontario marketing budget since 2003, and $5 million to the new Northern Regional Tourism Organization, 13 since 2010. These investments are seeing results. In 2011, the average hotel occupancy rate in Northwestern Ontario was up compared to the previous year, and we're committed to ensuring Ontario's tourism competitiveness by making sound investments. We are meeting the expectation of travelers by focusing our efforts on enhanced internet-based services, and we will continue to work with our partners in Northern Ontario to build a stronger, more competitive industry for tourism now and in the future. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.